Well, hello and welcome to the Ram Show. It is Sunday, August 5th, 2018. Back for another show. The topics that we have in the show this week, by the way, I'm going to say hello to Zach here. Hey, Zach, how's it going? So, the topics for this week, this is one of those, weeks where it was, slow in the tech news. So, some of these we may be able to blow through pretty quickly then. So, anyways, let's see, updates for this week. I really don't have anything. Oh, I finally cable managed Redmond though, so that was done. That's done. It took me a good couple hours, I think. Yeah, but I'm also OCD, dude. I'm very OCD. Huh? Yeah, I'm very OCD. Wait, hang on a second here. Can you speak again? Hold on one second here.
Did you forget to do something again?
No. Okay, so now let's try this again. I think everyone can hear Zach now.
Yeah, like I said, you forgot to do something.
No. So here's the problem with this new system and OBS and things like that. Things are still a little bit screwy. I'm still working things out because some of the audio settings are getting messed up and things. So everyone should be able to hear Zach now. He said he's fine.
That's good. I'm glad you noticed that now and 30 minutes from now.
Well, that's why I looked down and I was like, wait, hang on a second. Something is not quite right here. I was like, there's not an audio bar for Zach on my end, so this is something I'm going to try to keep more of an eye on during the shows to make sure that everything is going correctly. So, anyways,
Good idea.
right? So, hey, it's hard producing, directing, and hosting a show all at the same time. You should try it sometime.
You can thank me for not knowing anything about production.
Yep, you should try it sometime, Zach.
Oh.
I mean, you have a powerful enough system to be able to do it. Anyways, you know what? I would actually really like to see Zach try to, produce. You know what? That would be a fun challenge. Let you produce an episode of the Ram Show. Just produce it.
I have to install all the software.
No. Okay, producing is coming up with all the stories and putting the rundown together. That's producing. Directing is hitting all the buttons and making everything look correct on air.
Right.
So, I mean, it'd be fun to watch you direct too, but no, I'd love to see you produce an episode of the Ram Show and see what you come up with. That would be kind of fun. So,
seems you have a message.
I do. I have an email. What do I have an email about? Stuff I don't care about. Am I now just getting a notification? Oh, wait, no. Okay. I was going to say, am I now just getting a notification that we're live on YouTube? That was a bit delayed because we've been live for a while, but anyways. So I am working on a home renovation project.
You did what?
I am working on a home renovation project, which includes
that sounds horrible.
Well, okay, so it's for tech stuff, right? So out on the porch, I drill the hole through the wall, and then put a piece of pipe through the hole, and then on the end of that, on the side that's in the porch, is a box, an electrical box. And so that's just mounted to the wall. And so what happens is the pipe goes through the wall. I'm using that to run both, there's coax in there for TV. There's two network cables, one for data and one for telephone. So the network cable is all hooked up and everything. And I still have to hook up the coax cable and the telephone stuff. So, and then on the front of it, it's got a plate with, 3 keystone jacks for all that stuff. So, the part that I thought was going to be hardest about the whole project was actually, drilling the hole through the wall and getting the box mounted. That was the easy part. So where the box is, there's a crawl space in my basement, right? And part of it is like semi kind of finished, like more finished than the other part of it. And it's actually got like this giant like rubber tarp that goes down over the floor, and then there's like a mat kind of on top of that, and there's a bunch of stuff in there, right? Well, where I put the box is, you know, I can get to the other side of the wall from the crawl space, but I had to climb up over where there was like cinder blocks there at one point, and then there's a portion that's like kind of got them blown out, and so everything beyond that is just dirt. So I spent a good couple hours crawling around in that the other day, tacking up all the cables and cable managing them. So, but as you were saying earlier, I told you that I have Redmond cable managed. I said it took me probably a good hour and a half, 2 hours, and you were like, you have way more patience for that than I do. So
You do. You definitely
I am super OCD when it comes to cable management. Just ask Joe. He can tell you.
For me, if I can't see it, it's fine.
See, even though I can't see it, like the back of the case, like all the wires are like cable tied and everything like that. I love cable ties. They're awesome. So, anyways, but let's get into our first topic for the week, which is, this has something to do with like Google and Android, and it's kind of an interesting story. So, I don't have a phone that has one. I know you don't have a phone that has one. What are your views on phones that have a notch in them?
What is a notch?
That's that stupid little part that comes down in the screen. It was a big thing on the Apple phones, the iPhones.
What?
Hang on.
I'm so confused. A notch?
Yeah.
What does this notch do?
It legitimately does. Well, the reason there is a notch. Hang on. There we go. Let me
show me an example, because I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yep. There you go. Try that. For anyone else who is super confused. So this is the notch right here. It's this piece right here up at the top that, do you see where it comes down into the screen?
Oh, that?
That's a notch. Now do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never heard it called that, I guess, where like the screen extends kind of up.
Well, no, okay. So the thing is, right? So the screen is supposed to fill the entire portion of the device.
Where are they going to put the microphone and the camera and
that's what the
whatever
notch
else goes in there?
That's what the notch is for.
Well, yeah, but where are they going to put it if they're getting rid of that?
No, they're not getting rid of a notch. Okay, so the theory... You're confused. The theory is, right? Okay, so everyone wants a phone that has like a full screen on it, right? That extends all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom and all the way to the left and the right. This is Apple's solution. But the problem is that you have to have space for the earpiece. You have to have space for the camera. So that's what the notch is for in there. So it takes up that little bit of the screen. So what I'm asking you is...
this says that Apple's going to get rid of it. So how are they going to do that?
What are you...
Like, how would you get rid of this thing?
You're just... Oh, you're reading a different article. No, that was
I'm reading the thing you showed me.
Oh, that's a picture for reference.
Weird. Like, where would they... Okay, well, that's an interesting thing, though. Where would this thing go? Like, if you don't have this... Where do those things go? Where does the microphone the speaker and the camera and whatever else go? Do they find a way to put that inside the screen? No way. Can't do that.
That is a good question. That does open an interesting debate. I have no idea. Anyways,
I'm indifferent. I don't care.
You don't care. I think it looks
mine the way it is.
I think it looks dumb, and I would not want a phone with a notch in it. Because, like, what's the point of having a screen that goes all the way up to the top of the display when part
But
of it
it's
is...
like half the screen almost goes
right?
that far.
When it's
Instead of
covered
all of
up by this notch that's in there that totally, like, doesn't that defeat the purpose? But anyways.
Yeah, I would say more or less does.
Anyways, so Google is building official notch support into Android P, which is going to be released here soon or whatever, right? But it's actually laying down some ground rules on that. So basically, in a blog post that they put out the other day, Android UI product manager Megan Potosky, I think, wrote that Google is working with device partners to mandate a few requirements for app compatibility purposes. Among those are limits on notches. Which is weird, because every phone that I've seen with a notch only has one notch at the top. So, but the mandate says...
Why would you have one at the bottom?
I
That
don't...
makes no sense.
Right? Or on the sides? That makes no sense at all either.
There's no hardware there that is required, I guess you could say. Like, people put home buttons and stuff there, but that can all be part of the screen.
Exactly. Well, yeah, just like with
screen.
Yeah, like with the Samsung Galaxy S9, it's all built right in.
But at the top, you can't be putting a camera and a speaker there.
You
so
can't do that unless they've. I don't know how Apple's going to do that. That's going to be weird. But so basically, the mandate says that Android P phones can't have, get this, more than 2 cutouts on a device. Only 1 notch is allowed per side, and notches are only allowed on the top and bottom edges, not on the left and right. Basically, the reasoning behind this is for app compatibility. So
why? Oh, for like the display?
Basically, right? So with Android P, what's going to happen is that the notification tray that's up at the top is going to come down far enough on the screen to basically like level off with the bottom of the notch in there. So when you're looking at like your home screen or whatever, none of the screen will be covered up by the notch in there. But like in certain apps, like say like Netflix or something like that, or the YouTube app or whatever, where it actually fills the whole screen there, they're building in support for that to be a thing. And so the idea is that app developers will have that in mind, and they'll design the apps around the notch in there. So, which again, like I said, what is the point of having this full screen display if a chunk of it is being taken out?
That seems kind of dumb.
Like, this is like another one of those like Apple telling you what you want things, because Apple's the first one to do this. So, and then other manufacturers,
it looks kind of okay, but
to you, okay. Well, so see, here's my thing, right? So if I want to watch a video, right? Now, from what I've heard from some people who've reviewed, phones with notches in them, you actually kind of forget it. You kind of forget it's there. But like, even if you have your phone in landscape view, one side of it is still going to have a chunk kind of out of it.
Yeah, so like the part where the screen extends is just going to be black if you're watching a video.
Exactly. And the whole point behind the whole point about having the full screen is to make it a more immersive experience. But how is it immersive when you have a giant chunk out of the side?
How is it less immersive to just have a freaking bar?
Right? Yeah.
Like every other phone has.
Exactly. Or
at the top and the bottom. Fine, I guess, whatever.
Right? Or what about this idea? Slightly extending the size of the device to accommodate, well...
Yeah, but then you're still going to have people being all like...
Yeah, you're right.
Then you could put more screen.
Yeah.
And then kind
where
of
it's like,
defeating the purpose.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the notch, but... Anyway, so Google is going to be mandating that devices only have 2 notches in them. Which again, as we said, I don't think that's going to be a problem, because why would you put one at the bottom anyways? And you can't put them on the left or the right.
Yeah, I wonder where the heck the second notch is going to go.
Exactly. So
you could put one at the top. I don't know where the other one's going.
Well, one on one side of the display at the top and one on the other side of the display at the top, and have this weird thing in the middle. Like, I don't know. But then at that point, why wouldn't you just extend it all the way across? So, I don't know. The notch, I think it's a stupid thing. But anyway. Moving on to our next topic here. You spend a lot of time on Reddit, don't you, Zach?
A little.
Okay. How long have you had an account on Reddit for?
I never sign in.
Okay, so you never sign in. Do you even have an account?
I might have I might have an old account, maybe, but I've not signed into an account on Reddit for probably a really long time.
You're probably fine then. So Reddit is the latest company to be
Oh, I heard about this.
hacked. Yeah, Reddit informed users the other day that a hacker broke into some of its systems and accessed users' data, including current email addresses and a 2007 database that contained usernames and passwords that were already salted and hashed. Now, we've talked about salts and hashes before on this show. Basically, what you need to know is that it basically scrambles all the letters so that somebody who's looking at it can't actually, figure out what your password is easily. Is that a good explanation?
But they don't have your passwords, which I guess is better than it could be.
No. They do have your passwords, but they're hashed.
Well, they don't have your passwords in plain text.
No, they don't have your passwords in plain text. But having them hashed is kind of a bad thing, too, because if you know what the hash is that was used, you can...
It still would take a long time.
It would take a while.
An individual password, and it would be completely unfeasible to recover all of them using the same method.
So... Anyway.
So it would only be useful if you saw a specific user and were like, I want that person's password.
Interesting.
You could probably get it.
So Reddit is sending so Reddit is sending an email to all affected users, mostly people who joined Reddit before or in 2007 and earlier. But the hacker was also able to read email digest Reddit sent out in June 2018 as well, meaning that they could have some of the email addresses and things like that. As well as safe for work subreddits that they follow. Now, Reddit is recommending users who may still be using passwords similar to the ones that they had in 2007 to change their passwords on Reddit and other sites. Makes sense. The company is also encouraging people to enable token-based two-factor authentication through a service like Authy or Google's Authenticator. So we should probably explain what a... what is it? A token-based two-factor authentication. We should probably explain what that is, Zach.
If you'd like.
I was going to let you do it.
Okay, well, with Google Authenticator, like you said, you have an app on your phone, and then it will continuously generate a key, a number, a six-digit key. And then when you sign in using your two-factor, you have to input that key as well.
Yep, and it consistently changes, like you said.
And that key refreshes every minute or so.
Yeah.
So if somebody had the key, that would only be useful for 1 minute, or
exactly
however long it actually is.
So, because the problem with this is, right, so Reddit has had to, I think has actually required people to use two-factor authentication, which is usually in the form of like a text message. But what they found is that SMS-based based authentication can actually easily be intercepted. So that's why they're encouraging people to use the token systems now, because like you said, they refresh things every minute. By the way, if people wonder why when I say we need to explain things that I make Zach do it, it's not because I don't know. It's because I just want him more involved in the show. So I'm sure that it's like somebody's probably going to be like,
covered.
I'm pretty sure somebody's going to be like, oh, so he keeps asking Zach. He must not know what that means. No, I do. And it's just fun to put Zach on the spot sometimes like that. So anyways, so between June 14th and June 18th, the hacker compromised several Reddit employees' accounts through the company's cloud provider, SS and Source Cost Host. I think somebody wrote something incorrectly in here. or anyway, so Reddit had required two-factor authentication on its accounts, but the hacker intercepted the SMS verifications and then was able to gain access. So here's the good thing. All the hacker was able to see was backup data, source code, and other employee logs in the Reddit system, but they didn't have any access to changing anything. So that's a good thing. Now, by June 19th, Reddit discovered the attack and began investigating the extent of the damage while ramping up security measures. Reddit contacted law enforcement and is cooperating with their investigation. So yeah, just a PSA for anyone who has a Reddit account. You might want to go and change password. So, let's see. What do we got next for this week? Ooh. Let's see if I can tap on the right things here. And you would think that I would remember what keys are what things. But it is time for the Microsoft news this week. So Microsoft is trying to kind of do the same thing that Apple is doing with allowing you to share data between your phone and your computer. How do you feel about this, Zach?
Well, too bad nobody uses Windows Phone.
Right, which is why Microsoft is working on the Your Phone Windows 10 app.
The Windows 10 app for your phone, huh? Well, I know one app that I will not be downloading.
No. Okay, so they're going to make an Android app, or you'll have an Android app, and then there's going to be an app on the computer, and basically they'll work together to sync your data and stuff like that. But Microsoft is starting to test its new Your Phone app for Windows 10. They unveiled the app back at the company's Build Developer Conference in May, and it's designed to mirror content from your phone to a PC. So kind of in the same way that if you have an iPhone, continuity will work by, well, it works by using like your iCloud account basically. So like if you take a picture, it'll like sync it with your computer and your iPad and everything, which to Apple's credit.
Right, I get how that works. I just don't understand why people are so fixated on that.
Well,
why does everything that's on my phone have to be on my computer? I don't even have anything on both of those devices that I would really want to be on both.
I think it's for simplicity.
I suppose, yeah, but
just because, like,
I don't know. I don't see the use appeal of it, but obviously it's a
like I said, I honestly,
desirable feature.
I honestly think it's for simplicity.
They didn't ask me.
Well, think about it, because I've actually used it. You know, I take a picture or something.
What you're talking about. It's just for me, it's useless.
Yeah. Well, see, like if I take a picture or something like that, it's much easier to. I think. Hold on, everyone. Okay. I put a card reader on my computer because I can do video editing stuff now on this thing actually pretty decently. But, like, it continuously, like, gives me that sound where, like, something, like a USB device is disconnecting. And it didn't start until I installed this, so I'm pretty sure it's the card reader. I don't know why it would be doing that, but anyways. So we're going to set that aside for now, and I'll deal with that later. But no, like, for me, I've taken a picture before on my iPhone, right? And then been, like, or done, like, a video or something like that. And then instead of having to get out a cable, plug it into my computer, it's just much easier to grab it off the laptop and move it around on the network and things like that. So that's why I liked it. So I could maybe see myself exploring this. I don't know, though. Well, actually, photos and stuff that I take now I actually just back up to my Google account. So that's a thing, actually. But Android phone users are going to have to download or be able to test your phone first. And then they're also going to offer it to people who have Apple devices as well. But if you have an Apple device, you probably already have other Apple devices anyways. So, let's see. Microsoft is also planning to add support for text message syncing and notifications from phones to mirror up to a PC. So kind of the same way that...
Okay, now that is something I might consider using.
Okay, so basically when I had an iPhone, right,
If I could get text messages onto my PC, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, so when I had an iPhone, right, as long as I was talking with somebody else who had Messenger, right, or iMessenger or whatever it was,
Yeah,
is
but that's see to me that's useless because if the other person don't have the same phone as you, it's like
well, no. Okay, I totally agree with that. But the concept of being
the
able
way it
to,
works. Yeah.
the concept of being able to either decide to respond on my phone or using my computer was actually pretty nice, especially when I was like talking with somebody and like I needed to do like long responses. It was so much easier just to type it on the keyboard and hit send than it was, try to hit the tiny little keys with my thumbs. Not that.
It's stuck. I
Huh?
love my real keyboard.
Oh, I know, right?
Also, I love the idea of actually being able to, see my text messages. If I'm on the computer, half the time I don't even see that my phone went off.
Yep, exactly. So, I mean, that's kind of a cool feature. That would be nice. But it's going to require an Android app to be installed to mirror phone contacts to a PC, or content to a PC. And Microsoft is also planning to extend the same functionality, like I said, to iPhone users as well. Doesn't make sense to me.
There's something I'm afraid of is that they're going to make you use a Microsoft account when you sign in like to Windows 10. They're going to make you do that.
That is a good point.
If that's a thing that they will make you do, I will not use it.
I can totally see them doing that. If they're smart, they will allow you to decide what you want to use.
If they're smart, it will just be a program that you can install, and that's it. It will just work. And it
I'm
won't
sure
be
there's
tied
gonna
to any account or anything.
Well, but here's the thing. I'm sure you're gonna have some kind of account to sync it.
Well, yeah, you'll have to have some kind of account, but it would be tied to a specific account for that service.
I don't know. I don't know how that would all work. So
But I could just, what I could totally see them doing is they're going to make you sign in with your Microsoft account on both devices and leave it signed.
yes. You know what's really, really crummy? I don't know if
It'd
they
be a real way for them to spoil an otherwise great.
Great idea. You know what? What actually really annoys me is that like some of the apps on my system, like I've actually got like the Windows Store Slack app installed on my system here, and it works pretty slick. But in order for me to download that, I had to sign in with my Microsoft account in the Windows Store, right? The first time I did
I believe that I just downloaded it off of their website.
Anyway,
that was all I had to do.
The first time I did that, right? You know what happened? It changed me from a local account to having a Microsoft Live account on the system.
Yeah, and that
I was not having that, and I don't know. That was a really scummy little thing right there. It's like, oh, hey, we noticed you're using a local account. Well, let's just change that. Thanks again, Microsoft. But anyways, so cool feature. I hope Microsoft doesn't screw this one up. I hope.
Yeah, but they will. They're going to make you sign in with your account, and then it's going to be a completely undesirable feature.
Exactly.
For me, at least.
Probably for me at that point as well, and probably a lot of other people as well. Leave it to Microsoft to come up with a great idea, and then ruin it by having to slap all their Microsoft crap on top of it. So, anyways.
Pretty much.
So Zach, in the IT world, there is one device that you cannot stand. What is that device?
In the what?
In the tech world, there is one specific device, like category of.
I know. Is it the printer?
Yes.
I hate printers so much.
What did the printers ever do to you?
If every printer on Earth just simultaneously exploded, the world would be a better place. What did the printer ever do to me? More like, what did it ever do for me besides not work?
Do you have like some, like I swear, you have to have some like traumatic printer story or something like that.
It's just an accumulation of instances in which printers just don't work.
Okay.
And it's always the fancy ones. It's always the fancy ones with the Wi-Fi printing and like, when does that stuff ever even work? Never works.
It's a good question.
It never works.
Well,
like,
and then every
I
time
just want to plug it in and print. That's it.
every time the power goes
I
out,
don't need to scan. I don't need to copy. I just need to print. That's all I ever want
right?
to do with a.
And every time the power goes out with those fancy ones that connect, via Wi-Fi. Whoa! Did you hear that?
No.
Oh, wow. That was a decent crash of thunder. I don't know if people can.
I didn't hear anything.
Whoa!
Actually.
That was like. Oh, it's still rumbling. Jeez. That lasted for like a good 5 seconds. 5 to 10 seconds.
Eesh.
Whoa. I thought somebody like slammed a door or something like that. And then I actually figured out, oh, okay, so Maggie is now freaking out, which I don't blame her. That was really loud. I have headphones on, mind you, right? And I heard that. So I can only imagine the dog right here. So, anyways. So if I'm like halfway out of the frame, that's why. Printers are like back to what I was saying. Every time the power goes out, right? Like that fancy Wi-Fi portion of it, like always gets disconnected. And then you have to like totally remove the network thing. And then like re-go and add it again. It's super annoying. That always happens. But no, printers are like the cats of the IT world, where they're basically like, screw you. Would you agree?
Yeah, they are. They really just are.
So, well, if you want to make some cash and you want to possibly break the printers in the process, maybe not destroy them, but HP is going to pay people up to $10,000 to basically try to hack their printers.
Really?
So the whole idea behind it is that HP is known for saying that they have the most secure printers out there. And so as part of that, they're going to be hiring people from a firm called Bug Crowd. And so basically what they're going to do is the people that are part of that are going to try to hack the printers and things like that and find vulnerabilities in there and then report those obviously back to HP so HP can work in fixing them. Which is kind of a cool idea.
A noble cause.
We've seen other companies do this before. Google does this. It's
called a bug bounty.
Yeah, Google does this. I'm sure Firefox might do it. Mozilla might do it. I think Microsoft does it. I'm not sure about Apple. But anyways, the concept is kind of a cool concept if you think about it.
I believe Apple does do it.
Do they? So, oh my gosh. I swear, I'm looking out the window here. I swear like one of these days, like the power's just going to go out midstream. So
I'm going to laugh if that ever happens.
Well, we'll still technically be connected because here's the thing. Redmond and all of its screens are on a battery backup, and all the network equipment, at least that I need to keep the stream running, will be on a battery backup. But that will be okay, power went out. Bye, everybody. We're done for this week, so I can get the system shut down. Because this system pulls a lot more power than my old system did. So.
Well, that's what happens when you have a lot more inside it.
I'll tell you this, and that is that. Hang on one second here. I'm going to drop a couple things from the show. There we go. But no, I'll tell you this right now. So, for those of you who don't know, so I work at a television station. And my job is a master control operator. So basically what my job is to monitor the TV stations the channels that we have, make sure they're on the air and things like that, right? Things get very interesting when the power goes out.
Oh yeah, I can believe it.
So I think some of our stuff is on battery backups, but I think like some of the batteries are probably dead in them. So like, they're plugged into a UPS, but if the battery's dead in them, it won't make a difference. You know what I mean? So, anyways, and like depending on like, so there's something called a 1 cycle, a 2 cycle, and a 3 cycle power bump basically, and the higher the number, the longer the cycle is, right? So like a 3 cycle is like 30 seconds or whatever, or like up to 30 seconds, I think. Anyways, so one night we actually had like a full like 3 cycle power outage, and like it knocked out a decent number of things. I think our primary channel came back up because it was on network programming. We were coming off of the satellite, but we had no sound for like an hour. One of my channels, we only had 3 channels at that point. One of my channels, which was from a satellite, there was no picture or anything, I think. And then my secondary channel that I had, the automation computer needed to be restarted for that one. So, and then a couple weeks ago we had another power bump, actually mid-show. That's what reminded me of it. We were just getting into sports, and it was a very quick, it was like only about 4 seconds long, but it was enough to knock us off for at least like a good 15, 20 minutes. So, oh, but I'll tell you the best part, right? So I have 3 automation computers, right? And so these computers run, 24/7, never get shut off. We never really have to do anything with them in terms of like restarting them or logging in or anything like that, right? So here I am.
Black box, as it were, sits and works.
Basically. So
we mess with it.
I mean, we obviously look at the monitors and things like that because we have to like look at the schedule and stuff. But in terms of like the actual box itself, we don't do anything with it really. So anyway, so power goes out, everything starts coming back up, and I start seeing all my automation computers restarting. And I'm kind of like, okay, fine, whatever, right? Don't think much of it. Look away, kind of looking at other stuff, look back at them, right? 1, 2, 3, all the way across are sitting on login screens, right?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. What's the password?
And let me guess, they hadn't been restarted in so long that nobody knew it?
No, we did. They're actually pretty simple, but they're documented somewhere. But in the moment, it was definitely one of those, crap.
Who actually knows this password?
I know what it is. So, like I said, I'm not going to give everything away, but it's documented somewhere. And there were plenty of, the engineers know it too. So, but, well, I mean, it's not like, I don't know what anyone would actually do with it. You'd have to get into the building in the first place. But, well, not necessarily. I guess you could. Anyway. So, yeah, so that was rather interesting. But no, I ended up finding the password and the username, got that all put in and everything. And then, what happened after that is I had to restart the program, find where we are in the schedule, cue that line, and then actually take it to air, which worked fine for... Oh, my mother is looking for the dog. She is in here, by the way. Yes. So, anyways, one of the channels, basically all the automation software is for us to just run local breaks, because they give us time to do that. The secondary channel, everything plays from the automation system. Well, the automation system queues everything, and then we actually have video servers that play everything in the back. And then my primary channel was also in local programming that came from the building. So I don't know if like my video servers weren't up yet because I couldn't queue any programs on my secondary channel. So that was fun. But yeah. And along with that, there's like a bunch of other things that need to be reset and stuff. So yeah, it's a great time. But yeah, and everyone at home is probably like, what the heck just happened? Because, 1 minute we're there, next minute we're gone. So, anyways. This is a very big controversial topic right now. And it comes with some fair warning, political warning here.
Oh boy.
We're not
I
going to
love those topics.
Well, we're not going to super get into the politics side of this because that's not what we do here on the Ram Show. But it is something that I think needs to be talked about. It was a pretty big news story. You might have heard of it, but I don't know. So, anyways, let me find the correct tabs here. So, a judge the other day granted a request for a restraining order temporarily blocking a controversial plan to post 3D printed gun blueprints online. I'm going to stop right there.
I heard about this one.
I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to ask you what your opinion is on this.
Well, I don't really know all the details. All I know is something 3D printed guns, but
okay. So let me rephrase my question then. So what do you think about 3D or blueprints that are easily attainable for basically printing a working gun on the internet? How do you feel about that?
I think that no matter how anybody feels about it, it's probably going to happen sooner or later. And
You're
it
right.
might not be entirely legitimate.
The plans have already been released, and there's video showing that these actually do function.
Well, as in, even if the entire thing was shot down and disallowed, it would still happen.
Somewhere it would.
Like there would come a day when you could download a blueprint to build a gun with a 3D printer.
Well,
it would happen. It would happen whether anyone wanted it to or not.
Probably. Some of the plans have already been put out there.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just saying that even if it were
right. I get what you're saying as well.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But here's the thing about this, right? So this is a deliberate act to put these out there. It's not like this is being done in the black market. This is a deliberate act to have them put out there.
Well, I guess is there any kind of like safeguards in place? Like can somebody who is not allowed to own a gun just download this blueprint?
Exactly.
I guess whip out a 3D printing device and just go to town and make.
And that's what makes this.
I'm sure you can't just use any old 3D printer, but I'm sure.
Depending on probably what plastic you're using and things like that. But
yeah, like you have to have the right materials and equipment. But somebody who has those things could just go and down.
Exactly. So what makes this so controversial is the fact that anyone.
Related to guns.
Anyone can download the plans for it online. So whether that be, a minor or somebody who shouldn't, if you have a criminal background, you are not allowed to own a firearm in all cases or most cases. I think it's all cases. You're not allowed to own a firearm. And that's the big thing right there, is that, anyone can get their hands on them. The other problem with this is that these are not going to have serial numbers on them, because serial numbers can be used to what weapons have been used in a crime. People, file them down and things like that. But that's what makes this so controversial, is that it's basically, we're talking a gun here, right? A legitimate working gun that can do real harm, and we've seen that happen quite recently, unfortunately. And so my biggest thing is that with the laws that we have in place right now and things like that, like, we're already having these problems. How much worse is this going to get when, like I said, anyone with an internet connection and a 3D printer can literally just download the plans and have a gun in, 10, 12 hours? I don't know how long it takes to print one of these. But, and I'm going to tiptoe around this real quick because, A, I don't want to get too political. B, everyone is going to have their own opinion. So I just want to put that out there right now. In terms of the Second Amendment, I'm not against it. I do believe that there needs to be some better regulations in place. But that's my opinion. You may have a different opinion. But I think regardless of where you sit I think this is something that needs to be addressed. Again, especially considering what it is that is being put out there. Like I said, it's a gun. You know,
That's just such a tricky topic.
it is a tricky topic.
It feels like there's not a right answer at all.
Right, right. Because either way you look at it, right, you're going to have one side who says that this should be a thing, right? But then you're going to have another side, and that's what also is tricky about this right now too, is that the developer of this is arguing that by it being blocked, it's violating his First Amendment rights to freedom of speech. So you're right; it is a tricky topic. I guess. I think the thing is while see, that's where that also gets tricky too with the First Amendment rights thing, right? Because we have the right to the freedom of speech, the freedom to express ourselves and things like that. And that's kind of what this guy is doing. He's also arguing that he is not handing you a gun. He is just giving you the tools or the blueprints, basically. And so he's also arguing that, anyone could take a regular gun, disassemble it, and basically do the exact same thing. I think the thing about this is that it's plans that are already ready to go that are easily attainable by anybody. Because I've never tried to 3D render make a 3D model of anything to be able to 3D print it, but I can't imagine it's easy.
Well, I guess, it's not like you can't make a gun. You just need a special set of skills to do it, right?
Exactly.
Isn't that a thing that a few people do? They custom make guns?
I'm sure they do. But
so,
the thing about that is that
I guess if you kind of think about it, this would maybe fall under that. Maybe although lowering the entry fee, as it were.
Well, but see, that's the thing.
You don't really need those special skills anymore.
That, and I'm sure even anyone who builds guns like that, if they're going to sell them, I'm sure that there are some regulations in place.
Regulations, definitely.
That are in place to, I'm sure that they have to probably be identified somehow. I'm sure that they have to follow laws in terms of selling those. That's the other controversial part about this, is that there are no laws in place with that. Like I said, anyone can go download it and print it off. In terms of violating your First Amendment rights, okay. But I think you also need to look at the epidemic that's in this country right now and opening this up to, because see, here's the thing, this opens this up to somebody who may not be able to obtain a weapon the normal way. Instead of having to wait, go through the waiting period. You have a 3D printer, you can print one off, and as soon as it's done printing, for the most part, you're ready to go. Somebody who, like I said, is not legally allowed to purchase a gun can download one of these. The other problem with these things is that because they're made of plastic, think about it. Anytime you walk into a government agency or something like that, what do they usually have at the front door?
Yeah.
Metal detectors. Plastic obviously is not going to set those off. So,
surely there is metal somewhere. Like, the ammunition is made of metal.
That's probably a good point.
Right?
I don't know. Although,
there's got to be some metal components.
Possibly? I don't know. Anyway, I think it just opens up the door for too many things to happen that shouldn't happen. That's my opinion on it. That's where I'm going to leave that. This is a difficult topic to discuss because there is so many opinions, and
Well, not only that, but I don't even really know much about it at all.
And I
That
think that's the
alone
other
makes
problem
it kind of
too.
difficult for me to talk about it.
I think that's the other problem too. But yeah, my opinion is that I am not against the Second Amendment, but I do believe that there needs to be some better regulations in place because, in my opinion, the epidemic that we're seeing in the country is very, very sad. But that's where I sit. So, anyways, moving on to some more lighter-hearted news here for this week. Ending things off this week. Anyone who has trouble getting up in the morning will love this. A long requested feature from Spotify is to be able to use your Spotify playlist to wake up in the morning. And Spotify was actually bringing that feature with the help of Google. So you're going to need to download the Google Clock app. And guess what Apple uses? Oh, wait, never mind. This still won't work on Apple devices because, well, nothing cool ever actually happens on iOS. So it's still only open to people who have Android devices, like myself and like Zach. But, yeah, problems getting up in the morning. That's going to be a thing. They're rolling it out. Last I knew, I didn't have the feature turned on yet, but it's supposed to be coming. So that's kind of cool. The other cool thing is you don't need to have a premium account for this to work this time. If you have a free account, it'll work. The only thing is that the music's going to be on shuffle. So you won't actually be specifically able to pick what songs it is that you want and things. So anyways. An iPhone supplier actually got shut down. I guess it's this supplier also makes other chips for other companies, but they had like a virus infiltrate their systems or something like that. So that's a thing that happened. You use Firefox, right, Zach?
I do.
You could be seeing a new logo coming soon. Firefox is trying to get users' opinions for a new design for their logos and stuff like that. And they want to design different logos for different applications to just kind of better signify what they are and things like that, I guess. So, anyways. And before we leave you this week, excuse me, I got something fun this week. So, Zach, you said last week, you said on the show that the last time you flew on a plane was probably 4 years ago or something like that. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, when you were on that flight, do you remember watching the in-flight instructional video? The safety video?
We never had that. I can tell you that for sure.
Oh, did they have the flight attendants do it?
Yeah, they just walked around and
Okay.
gave their little speech.
So, some airlines have the flight attendants do that, especially on planes that obviously don't have screens, because that's what you have to do. But you've probably seen one of those videos before, haven't you, Zach?
Yeah, I'm sure I have.
So, anyways, the Turkish Airlines has partnered up with Lego to make one of these. And wow. I don't know. Zach, you probably don't care too much about the audio, do you?
I'm fine.
Okay, so I won't switch it over for you. But anyways, we're going to leave you with this week, and I hope you enjoy this. So...
Hey there, fellow travelers. I'm Emmett.
And I'm Wildstyle.
After our last adventure, I guess you could say we've kind of become movie stars.
But we're between movies right now. And what do movie stars do between movies?
Star in a flashy airline safety video. Can we get the step-by-step flashy video instructions, please?
Here you go.
Step 1. Make sure you're inside the airplane. Oh, here we go.
Carefully stow your luggage in the overhead bin. Whoa! Emmett!
Oh, I thought you were a suitcase.
You can also store it under the seat in front of you.
What's next? Oh, please say seatbelts, please say seatbelts.
Seatbelt.
I knew it! When the seatbelt sign is on, please fasten your seatbelt. Keep it fastened and visible while seated. Yes! You can release it as shown here when needed. The cabin crew also provides loop belts for infants.
Step 2. Don't be afraid to use shameless celebrity cameos in your safety video.
Did someone say cameo? It is illegal to smoke on this flight, including electronic cigarettes. It is also strictly prohibited to smoke in lavatories, which are equipped with smoke detectors. So don't even think about it, hombre.
Batman, do you want to sit next to me?
No, I fly biz class.
Set phones and all electronic devices to flight mode. All devices with no flight mode must be switched off.
Sweet.
For takeoff and landing, please unplug all devices. Small devices may be held. Large devices must be stowed. If your device is lost or falls into the seat structure, call a cabin crew member.
Step 3, a sweet moment between a parent and child.
Dad.
In case of a loss of cabin pressure, oxygen masks will drop down automatically. Pull the nearest mask towards you to start the oxygen flow. Make sure your mask is well adjusted before helping your child.
Stop being weird.
Step 4. It's not a flashy airline safety video without a song and dance. That will get stuck in everyone's head for the rest of the flight.
I got this. Attention to all passengers on this flight. We're gonna have a good time in the air tonight. It's some party in the sky. Let's pack our dreams and fly. It's a party.
Stop! It's gonna get stuck in my head. No one wants to hear a song about safety.
Moving on. Emergency exits are located on each side of the cabin at the front, center, and rear. The exit signs help you locate them. Locate the nearest sign, which may be behind you.
Hey, there it is. Ow.
In the event of an emergency evacuation, leave the aircraft following the exit signs and illuminated path along the aisles. As you exit, please leave all your luggage, high heels, and sharp objects behind so as not to impede the rapid evacuation. Exit doors are fitted with slides, which will be operated by the cabin crew in case of an emergency. Your life vest is located here or here. Place it over your head and pull the straps tight. Inflate as you leave the plane by pulling the red toggles or blowing into the tubes. The light will come on when in contact with water. The cabin crew provides life vests for infants. Please only remove and put the life vest on if instructed to, and inflate immediately. For takeoff and landing, close your tray table, open your window blind, and make sure your seat back is fully upright. Stow your footrest, video screen, and handset.
Step 5. Overly earnest closing remarks.
Thank you for your attention. For more details, please read the safety card in your seat pocket.
Make sure to follow the signs, placards, pictograms, and cabin crew directives. Let's see. Sensible, safe, airline-approved humor, celebrity cameos. Oh, yeah. Enjoy your flight. Was that too earnest?
That was awesome, you guys. Let's widen this world.
Oh no, not the song. No!
Yes!
No! It's a party in the sky. Let's pack our dreams and fly. It's a party in the sky. Let's pack our dreams and fly. I knew this was gonna get stuck in my head.
It's a party in the sky with Turkish Airlines.
Okay. So, kind of cheesy. Hope you enjoyed that. Anyways. So, real quick before we leave, I wanted to mention something about my my new system here. So, I rendered about a 10-minute video the other day. Any guesses as to how long it took to render out, Zach?
No idea. I don't edit videos, so.
Take a wild guess. Just
Couldn't even tell you what 3 minutes, I guess. We'll go with that.
Pretty close. Pretty close, actually. Yeah, I would say it took about 3-4 minutes. Which, if I tried to do that with Maverick and the crummy hardware I had
30
that...
minutes. Just kidding.
No, it probably would have taken like an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. So...
Oh.
Yeah. So I was very surprised when this is... And that was actually on the... So apparently I need to go in and make some changes because the GPU encoding doesn't actually work. I have to like go hack media encoder to make it do that. So that's something I'm going to be looking into. But that was off the CPU. So which is pretty sweet, taking advantage of pretty much all the cores and all the threads. So anyways. Ooh, I know one quick thing before we leave this week. And then we'll wrap things up, I promise, Zach. So, me and Joe were kind of talking about a possible system for him. So, I just want to run this by you real quick and see what you think. So,
Well, before you do that, you gotta outline some capabilities that you want it to have.
capabilities? Well, it's Joe, so, internet browsing, probably word processing, watching YouTube videos, and maybe some gaming. So here's what we got. We're doing a Ryzen build, a Ryzen 5 2600X, 3.6 gigahertz, 6 cores. I think that should be enough power for him.
Oh yeah, that's more than plenty.
The 212 Evo for the cooler. Asus Strix B350F Gaming ATX AM4 motherboard. 16 gigs of RAM. We already have, because he already has a 850 Evo and a 1 terabyte storage drive. And then thinking going like a 1060 for him too. What do you think?
That might even be overdoing it for what you said, but it'll definitely do the job.
So we could probably even look at maybe doing like a 1050, something like that. I don't know. I don't remember what he has in his system right now. I don't know. Do you remember?
I don't remember at all. I thought he had a laptop.
Well, he does, remember, but we took that older system and we updated it a little bit, we refreshed it.
Oh.
So, anyways, yeah, I don't remember what was in that one. The graphics card that we put in there was slightly better than my 730 that I had in my system, I think. It was like a step up or something like that. I don't remember. I'd have to ask him. But anyway,
I don't remember.
What do you think about that system build for him?
Oh, it'll definitely do the job.
So,
I just question if it's overdoing the job.
You mean on the graphics side? You know what though? Maybe some light video editing. Nothing with like Premiere or After Effects or anything like that. But maybe something like Pinnacle Studio, which I don't know how that actually runs. But maybe some light video editing. I don't know on that one. But anyways, so with that being said, I am going to call this a show. I don't think you have anything else, do you, Zach? I'm going to assume that was a no.
I said nope.
Oh, okay. It was just like nothing on my end. So, let's see here. There we go. That's the graphic I want. So anyway, so yeah, with that, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, obviously, get subscribed. If you didn't, or if you liked it, thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. If it's more complicated than that, you can leave a comment down below. Let's see, what else? Ooh, I want to start taking advantage more of the forum that we have. So we will be putting together a post on there, or a topic on there, talking about all the topics that we talked about this week, for discussion over there. We are also, the entire show will be a podcast on, you can get it off the iTunes app, or you can, well, we'll put some links down in the description, I think, if I remember to do so. And with that, we're going to, like I said, call it a show. And we'll see all of you next week. Bye.